Good evening and welcome. You're watching the national debate. I'm Padmaja Joshi. It's fair to say that now we are perhaps in the slog overs just before the final penultimate ball is bowled in the match that we call the union elections, the elections to the Lok Sabha, because what a match it is turning out to be. Every new over brings a new twist, but the biggest perhaps over has been in the last week, where first Ayodhya and then Gyanvapi, an undeniable Mandir leher is palpable in the air. Elections are just a few months away and no one can deny the potency of this cocktail. Elections and a religious fervor sweeping across the country. Ram Lalla is already installed in his Janmabhoomi, and now the Gyanvapi report declaring there existed a Hindu temple prior to the construction of the existing structure, that's the Gyanvapi mosque, has definitely sent a ripple through the entire nation. But the BJP, is it banking only on the Mandir fervor? Far from it, they have now revealed their campaign strategy on Thursday with a song that talks about Modi being the fulfiller of dreams. Sapne nahi hakikat bunte hain, says the BJP. Isliye hum Modi ko chunte hain. The campaign theme is familiar. It revolves around the three main issues of this government. One, which is reaching out to their core Hindu vote bank, the faithful. The second, talking about beneficiaries, the schemes of the government. And third, it is to appealing to the global citizen and Indian pride, saying today India is a first among equals globally. So when the Prime Minister says that after Pran Pratishtha, it is Rashtra Pratishtha. After Dev, we are going to Desh. Is this the cocktail? Is this the formula that is going to guarantee them the kind of figure that they are already proudly proclaiming, 400 par? And is the demise which we are seeing around us of the INDIA making this prediction become a reality even quicker?
आज मैं देख रहा था, कुछ मीडिया वाले चला रहे थे कि आज बुलंदशहर में मोदी चुनाव का बिगुल फूकेंगे। मोदी तो विकास का बिगुल फूंकता रहता है। मोदी तो समाज के आखिरी व्यक्ति के कल्याण के लिए बिगुल फूंकता रहता है। मोदी को न पहले जरूरत थी, न आज जरूरत है, न आगे जरूरत है चुनाव के बिगुल फूंकने की। मोदी के लिए तो ये जनता जनार्दन बिगुल फूंकती रहती है। मैंने राम लला के सानिध्य में कहा था कि प्राण प्रतिष्ठा का कार्य संपन्न हुआ, अब राष्ट्र प्रतिष्ठा को नई ऊंचाई देने का समय है। देव से देश और राम से राष्ट्र के मार्ग को और प्रशस्त करना है।
Joining us now on the national debate, we have with us Bansuri Swaraj, Secretary of the Delhi BJP, making her debut on the national debate. Pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us. Senior journalist Sameer Chaugankar is here with us. Ghanshyam Tiwari, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, as always with his copy of the day's newspaper. Advocate Nikhil Jain, political consultant, supports the Congress Party, and Tanveer Ijaz, professor at the Ramjas College in Delhi University. But I want to begin with you, Bansuri Swaraj. The feeling among a large section of people is, as they say in Hindi, mahal banaya ja raha hai. Ram is already there, Ram Lalla is there in Ayodhya, and now suddenly you have a Gyanvapi report also. Is this going to be the Mandir Mahal mantra for the BJP?
No. First of all, Gyanvapi is something that I would not like to talk about, because that is a matter which is sub judice, and as a very responsible lawyer of the Supreme Court of India and as a spokesperson of a very responsible political party, I am not going to comment on a sub judice matter at all. Having said that, let me tell you, mahal banane ki zarurat nahi hai. It is not a Mandir leher, it is Modi ki guarantee ki leher. When we talk about the Ram temple, it was unequivocally a part of the BJP manifesto from time immemorial. We have never vacillated on our stance on having a Ram Mandir built on the Rama Janmabhoomi, which is going to be sanctioned and mandated by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. And this Ram Mandir was basically nothing but a fulfillment of that particular promise by the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. So when we say, सपने नहीं हकीकत बुनते हैं इसीलिए सब मोदी को चुनते हैं, that is the truth, that is our core principle. When we talk about beneficiaries, we are talking about in India where जहां विरासत भी और विकास भी. We are talking about 10 crore Ujjwala connections. We are actually talking about 13.5 crore people getting tap water. We are talking about 25 crore people actually being uplifted from below poverty line. They are actually being uplifted.
So you're saying in your rallies you won't refer to the Ram Mandir?
We are going to be referring to the Ram Mandir in the context of a promise completely fulfilled.
But the votes you are going to seek in the name of?
Of Vikas.
Only Vikas.
Vikas and Modi's guarantee, because जो वो कहते हैं वो करते हैं.
Okay. Opening comments Ghanshyam Tiwari, because the first political rally that the Prime Minister addressed after the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha was actually in Bulandshahr, right in the heart of this newly cobbled alliance you have with the RLD. He's in Western Uttar Pradesh, he's in Bulandshahr. I counted, he spoke of the Ram temple once. Once he said, and then in the next line he said, प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के बाद अब हम राष्ट्र प्रतिष्ठा करेंगे, and then went on to dedicate development projects in western Uttar Pradesh to the people of the state. This even as he was making a college in the name of Kalyan Singh. He did not just say Kalyan Singh, amazing chief minister. No, it was a college. So basically they are saying Dev and Desh together.
The key elements of our preamble, as it is written in the Constitution, socialist, secular, democratic republic, values of justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. I believe that the 2024 election for BJP can be about Pran Pratishtha, but when you talk about Rashtra Pratishtha, when you talk about guarantee, it has to be about the preamble of the Constitution. And when you speak about guarantee, Prime Minister says, Modi ji ki guarantee puri hone ki guarantee hai. But you look at the Economic Times, it says that formal job additions, I read the headlines, formal job additions declined further in November. This is a government that has guaranteed the worst employment to the youth of India. When reports publish that 1 in 2 educated youth are unemployed, ये मोदी जी की गारंटी है. मोदी जी की गारंटी थी कि इस देश में पेट्रोल 50 रुपए का होगा, सिलेंडर 500 रुपए का होगा, और अगर इनकी सरकार दोबारा आ गई तो ये पेट्रोल 200 रुपए का होगा और ये सिलेंडर 2000 रुपए का होगा. मोदी जी की गारंटी थी कि इस देश में बेटी बचाओ प्रधानमंत्री का नारा रहेगा. लेकिन आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो कि रेपिस्टों को आजाद करती है, पूरी सरकार मिलकर आजाद करती है. और वो बेटी बचाओ अब धमकी है, नारा नहीं है. मोदी जी की गारंटी थी कि इस देश में हर किसान की आय डबल होगी.
Okay, sir, you know, we are going over the same generalities which we have.
You did not interrupt, Bansuri. Allow me to complete my finishing comment. I'm just repeating मोदी जी की गारंटी. मोदी जी की गारंटी थी कि भ्रष्टाचार नहीं होगा. Supreme Court, we have an eminent lawyer, and I welcome Bansuri in this debate. Supreme Court is saying that Adani matter is not listed because Modi ji ki guarantee hai.
Sir, the only reason I'm interjecting is not to cut you off, but to talk about specifics. Because what we do here on the national debate is we address specific issues. No, specific. No, I'm giving you specific instance now. You said that they are only banking on Pran Pratishtha. I am quoting to you, just on Thursday, when the first political rally, he goes to Uttar Pradesh and he gives 19,100 crore rupees worth of projects. He talks about multi-lane highways. He talks about an integrated development township. And also, Ayodhya itself came not just with Pran Pratishtha, but came with business that is now coming in.
Prime Minister said 15 lakh in every account. His government has written off 15 lakh crores, not in every account. A mutti bhar punjipati. Will India be, again you are
These projects don't mean anything.
No, I think that 15 lakh in your account, her account, his account also meant something.
Sir, either we can keep going back to that 15 lakh ka...
Was it not a guarantee? It was a guarantee.
Okay.
The guarantee to the farmers was that their income will be doubled by 2022. In this February, in this Mahima Mandit Modi ji, farmers are going to march to Delhi to demand that guarantee. The guarantee was that every home will have, every family will have a home. That guarantee is not fulfilled. The guarantee was Prime Minister touched the ground on the Parliament when he first made his entry in 2014, and the guarantee is fulfilled when 140 members of Parliament have been thrown out and important laws have been passed, like a dictator would pass laws in a country like North Korea.
So what are your unfulfilled guarantees? 15 lakh in everyone's account.
Every guarantee is unfulfilled. Which guarantee has been fulfilled? You tell me one guarantee from 2014 manifesto that has been fulfilled. Last point.
Okay.
Bansuri said that
airports
BJP
made in the Northeast has been fulfilled.
Last on Bansuri's point, she said BJP never vacillated on the promise of Ram Mandir. When they formed the government in 1996, when they formed the NDA alliance, every promise that they say Modi ji ki guarantee, whether it is Article 370 or Ram Mandir or Uniform Civil Code, Nitish Kumar ji or anybody says that BJP made a promise. Shiromani Akali Dal says that they will not hold themselves to these promises. So they have always vacillated.
What is your point? You are saying they vacillated on Ram Temple.
Their guarantee is the biggest ghotala. If you want to believe it or
okay,
believe
actually
it,
on the Ram Temple, why didn't they make it earlier? I believe there's a very famous speech of Vajpayee ji inside the Lok Sabha where he said कि हम राम मंदिर बनाएंगे पर अभी हमारे पास बहुमत नहीं है पर हम राम मंदिर वहां जरूर बनाएंगे. That was acknowledged by them as Prime Minister.
That Babri Masjid demolition was the worst day in his life.
Okay,
that is his famous
that's not his video.
That is his video, his speech.
Okay.
Advani says the same thing. Vajpayee says the same thing.
LK Advani said that. But anyway, let's come down. There is one thing which is never going to leave you, which is the 15 lakh ka promise, and that is the PM ki guarantee, which the entire opposition is saying you will have to answer for.
Yeah. मोदी की गारंटी ये है कि आज के दिन भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था विश्व के तीसरे नंबर पे, we're the fifth largest economy. I stand corrected. We're the fifth largest economy. That was Modi ji's guarantee. His guarantee is that if and when the BJP is going to get elected with a Purna Bahumat, the economy is going to reach the level of the third largest economy. They are talking about one particular aspect. Look at the entirety. We are talking about Swachh Bharat. We are talking about actually, look at the startup ecosystem in the country. We're the third largest ecosystem of startup in the entire world, in which 10% of actually startup entrepreneurs are women. When he talks about women-led development, youth-led development, these are the guarantees of Modi ji. You talked about Bulandshahr yesterday. 20,700 crores worth of development projects were actually announced. When he says, Dev se Desh or Ram se Rashtra Chetana ka Vistar, this is what he is talking about. Let us talk about vacillation.
But farmer incomes haven't doubled.
Farmer incomes will be doubled. Today, at the end of the day, you also know that 23,000 crores have already been transferred to the bank accounts. 6,000 rupees annually by the Kisan Yojanas have already reached the farmers. We're a large country. All the development schemes have been initiated. The benefit is already permeating and trickling down to the last mile. This is the first time that you have a government. Through the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, you have the government bringing the benefit of the schemes to the doorstep of the voter.
Okay.
When was the last time that you had a scheme where the electoral or the Janata did not have to actually go door to door from table to table asking for those benefits? Here the government is ensuring that the bank managers, etc., your Aadhaar card, your bank account, your Ujjwala connections, everything is under one roof through the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra.
Okay, one counter question.
Very quick question. That we speak about with pride. We speak about we are the fifth largest economy, would be third largest in 2027. Which other in the top 10 economies is sending its 10,000 men who are lining up in lakhs, by the way, to Israel in a country ravaged by war, in a work environment that is unsafe, and why? Why are we sending our 10,000 men? We are going to be the third largest economy of the world.
How are the two connected though?
Because that is the reality. आपकी guarantee अडानी जी को मिलती है या उस youth को मिलती है जिसको आपने बेरोजगार छोड़ दिया.
Jumping from point to point. यही होता जब तथ्य नहीं होते, जब आपके पास तथ्य नहीं होते तो आप jump करते. I want to know, including, I mean, you're talking about a matter being listed before the Supreme Court of India. Let me tell you, that is not within the realm of the Prime Minister of India. That is within the realm of the registry of the Supreme Court.
The registrar is saying that the सरकार ने मना किया है. I mean, are we really saying, this is laughable, that in a 2024
That is
India,
such a
that the
contemptuous
Supreme Court is saying that the government is not allowing Adani matter to be listed. Who runs the country? Is Adani running the country?
Okay,
or
now
Mr.
we're
Modi
just
running the
jumping from
country?
topic to topic. Sameer ji wants to make a quick point, then I will bring in Tanveer Ijaz. Yes.
देखिए, मेरे तो समाजवादी पार्टी के प्रवक्ता की अगर बात पे जरा भी सच्चाई होती तो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी 2014 में 282 की सीट्स लेके आए थे। 2019 में 303 सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी को नहीं मिलती। नंबर 1, अगर इनकी बात में सच्चाई होती तो उत्तर प्रदेश, मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान और छत्तीसगढ़ का जो चुनाव प्रचार अभियान हुआ था, 3 दिसंबर को जो परिणाम आया, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को उसमें बहुमत नहीं मिलता। जनता ने बता दिया कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जो गारंटी देते हैं वो गारंटी पूरी होने की गारंटी रहती है और देश की जनता प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के ऊपर भरोसा करती है।
मैं आपसे एक सिंपल सवाल पूछना चाहती हूँ।
कुछ दिन पहले ही आया डाटा कि 9 साल के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के 9 साल में 24 करोड़ लोग गरीबी के बाहर निकल कर आए। ये डाटा तो अभी सामने आया है ना। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के काम के साथ अब राम का नाम भी जुड़ने वाला है।
पर वोट काम पे पड़ेगा या राम पे पड़ेगा?
काम के साथ राम जुड़ने वाला है। सिर्फ राम के नाम पे वोट पड़ना होता तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी बहुत पहले सत्ता में आ चुकी होती। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी का जो काम है 9 साल का, उस काम के साथ राम का नाम जुड़ रहा है। और राम और काम मिलकर प्रधानमंत्री मोदी को 2024 में 350 से ज्यादा सीटें देने की स्थिति में।
Tanveer Ijaz, is it a fact that you cannot ignore Ram ka naam, but Kam has to supplement it? One picture which I want to show from the Modi-Macron Shobha Yatra that happened in Jaipur on Thursday, and perhaps this is symbolic of the messaging that this government wants to do. You have got a global leader, the French president, in a city in India with Jai Shri Ram behind him and India-France friendship posters around them. What is the message being sent? Is it fair to then say, oh, it's only Mandir that the BJP is banking on?
Yeah, I mean, the message in that poster is basically that to tell the whole world that, look, in India, it is Ram, you know, the backdrop, it is Ram and perhaps not Rahim, right? It's only Ram which is there. So if you take that as a vantage point for the discussion, so I think it would have been, you know, if Rahim would have been there, things would have been much different, right? But let me come to this whole issue of how we are sort of clubbing various issues together,
no,
right?
Let's just address this for a second.
Election,
are you saying that this was a majoritarian message being sent out?
Of course, of course. So BJP has 2 planks in all elections, right? I mean, let me come to the election because you know, I mean, there are 2 issues which need to be debated. One is electoral democracy, which is elections, right? The other one is governance. After election, when the government comes to and forms a party, what it does. Let's not club them together, right? If we club them by bad governance, you say that, no, we have won a majority, so therefore we get a carte blanche to do anything.
I want to quickly quick response on this particular picture. Do you think that this is the absolute majoritarian declaration of India in the presence of a visiting dignitary that we are a Hindu country?
Hindu Rashtra.
Hindu Rashtra.
Not at all. This is the picture of a very confident and a resurgent India where there is cultural renaissance happening.
But there is no Rahim.
No, that is a very myopic view. Let me bring 2 aspects on that. First, from Ram Temple, what did the Honorable Prime Minister say? He said, Ram sabke hain. Please remember that there was representation of each and every community, religious community of India was present in the Ram Temple. In fact, you're talking about Rahim. Are you forgetting that there... No, Tahir ji, please. If you remember, even the chief of the Imam organization was present and he supported it. Second, in that picture, you have President Macron from a country which is religiously agnostic. So are you saying that just because there is a Ram Dhwaj and there is no Rahim, this is a very myopic view. I'll tell you what...
Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. You know,
exactly.
that is the slogan.
Saath,
so why this... No, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So that is the slogan, right?
Permit me to just finish. 1 second. The government benefit schemes benefit everybody irrespective of religion,
so I have a question to ask.
सूर्य की किरणें सब पर बराबर पड़ती हैं। प्रधानमंत्री, मैं पहले खत्म करूंगी। प्रधानमंत्री सबके प्रधानमंत्री, उनके भी जिन्होंने उनके लिए वोट नहीं करा, उनके लिए भी जिन्होंने वोट करा।
हमारे भी प्रधानमंत्री हैं।
जी, और इसीलिए उनकी स्कीम्स का बेनिफिट बेनिफिट सब पर बराबर पड़ रहा है, सूर्य की किरणें सब पर बराबर पड़ रही हैं।
Okay, let me give you
कर रहे हैं राम को देख के रहीम को डिवोर्स करने की।
One simple
I want
question,
to give
direct question.
one more statistic.
One
When we talk about Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas, it's just been a few hours since the Padma Awards were declared. 132 people were given the Padma Samman, and this time you had 40 people who were from the OBC community who were given the Padma Awards. Scheduled caste were 11, scheduled tribes were 15. There were 9 Christians, there were 8 Muslims, 5 Buddhists, 3 Sikhs, and 2 Jains and Parsis each. The messaging is being done. Are we taking away a myopic view of saying, oh, there is a Jai Shri Ram Pataka over there, there is no Rahim? This is real life manifestation of that messaging.
No, I mean, these awards, again, I'll tell you, the awards are symbolic in nature, just like, you know, there are a lot of symbols.
The idea is, Bansuri Swaraj, that yes, India may be developing, it may have become the 5th largest economy, it may have lifted people out of poverty, but the growth and the development is restricted not to Sabka Saath, but to the kind of people that the BJP likes. Hindus, affluent, crony capitalists, men. That largely, and it is not equitable. So it's not Sabka Saath,
Completely
only the Ram ke
false.
bacche per se.
Completely false. Are you forgetting PM Janman? Are you forgetting? Let me take Sudhirji's point. The landslide victory that happened in favor of the BJP, the mandate that we got in Chhattisgarh, where we swept Bastar. What was that? The tribal, the Pichda, the SC, the ST, the caste. People are actually voting for development. Modi ji has ensured that the complexion of the politics in the country has shifted in a tectonic shift.
Okay.
From
Don't forget
caste-based
that you get
politics to development politics.
Don't
is
forget that you
something-
get less than 40% of the votes. Don't forget that, right? Last election it was just 31%. Don't forget
Sir,
that.
आप
Right?
आंकड़े
If you
बोलते
ask, say,
जाइए.
everyone is
Fact
voting.
is, पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार पिछले 10 वर्ष से एक जनादेश प्रधानमंत्री
is not
मोदी
voting.
जी के
Everybody is
विकास
not
की
voting.
नीतियों पे गया
Out of 10,
है।
only
आप
4
यहाँ
are
पे
voting.
जितनी मर्जी परसेंटेजेस बोल दीजिए। Fact of
I'm
the
not
matter-
saying this percentage. This is by the election commission.
Okay, Nikhil Jain, let's all acknowledge that ultimately the Mandir will only get you so far. Because if Mandir was to win elections, then Advani ji would have been the Prime Minister of India in the 90s itself. Obviously, there is a basic message that has gone out. There is a beneficiary class which is voting. Let us not forget that across the 3 states that we have seen polling in the recent past, in all the 3 states that the BJP won, barring one section, which is the uneducated and those who have not had any school education, every single class voted for the BJP. The women's vote went up, the tribal vote went up, the middle class vote went up. Everyone voted for the BJP. Mandir is the cherry on top.
So, Padmaja, first of all, this is the core argument of the BJP that when asked questions about the lack of development, about growing inequality, about the growing discrimination against various sections of the society, they have one answer: we have landslide victories. Sorry, madam, but winning an election cannot be the answer to all the follies of your government.
Election. The vote share is going up across classes.
Even if, of course,
tribals,
no,
which was the core
Padmaja,
Congress vote bank
even if the vote share is increasing across classes, that does not necessarily causate that what the BJP is doing, these communities are supporting. There are a number of reasons. We've had this discussion before that there are a number of reasons why the vote share of a party increases. Like the electoral finesse, like the money. No.
I'll ask you a straight question.
The landslide victories of
Sarguja is a entirely tribal belt. It was the Deputy Chief Minister T.S. Singh Dev's bastion. Congress lost all seats. T.S. Singh Dev himself lost. Why did those tribals who are backward, who are poor, who are the Congress's loyal voters voting for BJP? Answer me this.
If the Congress or the opposition parties are not able to fairly manage their election campaigns, you cannot say that every folly of the BJP... You can't put that every folly of the BJP is right because the people have voted for them. We all know how voting in this country happens. That cannot be the approval stamp for everything wrong that the BJP does.
उनका बेटा विधानसभा चुनाव हारा है.
Answer this.
मुस्लिम बहुल सीट के अंदर भारतीय जनता पार्टी
all the arguments, no, they don't have counters. Of all the points, that are being raised, they don't have counters in terms of arguments. They have counters in terms of we are winning elections.
No. So basically, you haven't given the answer.
Just a second, पार्टियों का डेवलपमेंट नहीं हो रहा है, देश का डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, इसलिए तकलीफ हो रही है.
Okay, let me just,
waiting for a very long time.
धर्मों का, सारे जातियों का डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, तो ये तकलीफ की बात है.
Can I respond to the points that were made earlier in the debate? Can I please respond to the points that were earlier in the debate?
Your logic for why backward communities or communities who would have never touched the BJP with the Baj poll are actually going for them is BJP is all. Let me finish what I'm saying. Your argument right now, summed up in a line, was BJP is not doing anything right, others are stupid.
That's not what I'm saying. Not what I'm saying. Padmaja, what I'm saying is that the counter argument to an argument that there is rising inequality in this government can't be landslide.
Sir, why are tribals voting for BJP? Just answer that. Why are tribals voting for BJP?
Yeah.
No, can I at least
variety of reasons to vote.
Can I first respond to
There are
the
variety
various
of
points
reasons.
that Bansuri has made in the debate?
No, let's just answer this question. We have moved on from there. We have moved on from there, otherwise we'll keep going back in circles.
I don't want to
Let's
go
just
back in
answer the
circles.
conundrum. Why is an OBC man voting for the BJP? Why is a tribal man voting for the BJP?
Let me answer on that.
Yes.
The BJP spokesperson said, Prime Minister has said there are only 4 castes in the country, women, poor, farmers and this. But then the same Prime Minister goes around bragging his chest saying, we have 27 OBC ministers.
Sir, I am answering your question.
Oh, I am answering your question.
Yes.
That the question is that when you ask, why is the OBC voting for the Prime Minister
Yes.
or the BJP? It is about symbolism that the BJP is engaging in, and which is a very hypocritical
What symbolism?
That I have 27 OBC ministers. At one place you go and say that I have 27 OBC ministers.
So you're basically saying,
Why do you feel the need to assert that, sir? Why do you feel the need to assert that? No.
राहुल गांधी एक ही
At one point,
hold on a second. Let's just
on one plan they will say there is no caste. On other plan they'll say, oh, I am a backward caste.
Nikhil Jain, let's just dissect again your argument. Your argument is that the OBC voter is so stupid
that
he is getting
argument.
nothing.
First of all, stop
he
putting
is
words in
sitting
my
at
mouth.
home,
I am not at all saying
being
any
given
voter is
nothing by
stupid.
the government, but he's like, wow, BJP just told me they have 27 ministers. Hence, I must vote for the BJP.
Let me extend your argument. When you say that anybody who is voting for a party, and I say that that party is wrong, that means the voter is stupid. So when the Prime Minister goes around saying,
not.
that is what you're trying to impute to me.
In Telangana, in Karnataka, when the Lingayats, when the Vokaligas shifted away from the BJP and the JDS, we acknowledged that the Congress got their messaging right. The Congress got their promises
Winning
right.
elections is about messaging.
No,
you talked about the Prime Minister.
It is about the work you do when you are in government.
You talked about
as well.
the Prime Minister's rally in Bulandshahr. You said he talked about a multi-lane highway. He talked about this. He talked about that. The problem is the Prime Minister talks a lot. He does very little. To extend on Ghanshyam Tewari's point, the Prime Minister promised bullet trains. We don't have them. The Prime Minister promised 2 crore jobs in a year. We don't have them. 15 lakhs in a bank account. We don't have them.
बुलेट ट्रेन का काम
A house to everybody. A house to everyone. A house to everyone.
कांग्रेस
We
की
don't have
सरकार थी.
it.
बुलेट ट्रेन का काम किसने रोका था महाराष्ट्र के
हर नल
अंदर?
में जल. We don't have it. So when Bansuri says कि हम सिर्फ सपने नहीं.
Okay, he's asking you bullet train.
अहमदाबाद से मुंबई तक की बुलेट ट्रेन का काम किसने रोका था? महाराष्ट्र में सरकार किसकी थी? शिवसेना की और कांग्रेस की सरकार थी. शिवसेना की सरकार और कांग्रेस के आते ही
वो सरकार कैसे गिरी?
अधिग्रहण रोक दिया.
वो सरकार कैसे गिरी? वो सरकार कैसे गिरी?
काम ही नहीं करोगे.
वो सरकार कैसे गिरी? अरे किसने गिराई? क्यों गिराई?
विकास नहीं हुआ तो लोग छोड़ते चले गए.
नहीं, जनता ने नहीं गिराई. आपने पीठ में खंजर भोके गिराया.
कोई काम नहीं करोगे तो लोग छोड़ के जाएंगे आपको.
Okay, we are not going to go down that road. You will agree if you are saying that Modi की गारंटी की कोई गारंटी नहीं है. Anyone who lives in Mumbai today is acknowledging that the Atal Expressway, which was originally envisioned by who? By who, Nikhil Jain?
The Atal Expressway has a one-time use toll of 250 rupees.
It was envisioned by the Congress government,
rupees for a
and
single
today
ride,
the BJP
Padmaja.
government has made it.
No,
but
250 rupees for a single ride.
Okay, then why did the Congress envision such a expressway?
No, the Congress did not envision a 17,000 crore expressway. The cost has been escalated multiple times.
Fine.
And nobody was to ever say that the Congress was going to charge people 250
So what is
rupees for
your
a single
specific
ride.
question you want answered?
The specific point that I'm making is that first of all, we all have been talking about Modi's guarantees. First of all, it is Modi ki duplicate guarantee. The guarantee word in terms of welfare schemes is what the Congress started in the state elections. Modi ji only picked it up in December.
So
and now
guarantee is not a copyrighted word. It's a word.
Nikhil ji, majority of the rule was of the government for independent India. आप लोग गरीबी हटाओ का जो आपका नारा था वो चल रहा था. 25 करोड़ लोगों को गरीबी की रेखा से ऊपर करने की गारंटी मोदी जी की थी जो उन्होंने पूरी
गारंटी पे सारे इकोनॉमिस्ट क्वेश्चन करते हैं.
One aspect. See, you were talking about political messaging, right? You said elections are won or lost on political messages. Assuming for a moment, let's be the devil's advocate that you're right. I want to ask you, so is the India Alliance's political messaging so miserable that, let's talk about the Indian National Congress and let's come back to Padmaja's original topic of the Mandir, right? कांग्रेस का शीर्ष नेतृत्व इतना ज्यादा डिस्कनेक्टेड है खुद के कार्यकर्ताओं से और जनता के मन से कि आपके देखिए वो ये तय करते हैं कि वो मंदिर का निमंत्रण ठुकराएंगे. कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ता कर्नाटका और यूपी में जाकर वो पूजा अर्चना करते हैं. यानी कांग्रेस का शीर्ष नेतृत्व ना अपना खुद का कार्यकर्ता का मन भाव सकता है ना जनमानस भाव सकता है.
You said it's all about messaging. Elections is all about messaging. Tanveer Ejaz, is the lack of messaging and the disintegration, okay, you want to respond to the messaging? Lack of messaging, disintegration of the opposition alliance, that is only helping the BJP, which you say is not doing anything worthwhile.
I want to respond to the specific point that Bansuri had made. It is not a disconnect of the leadership to decline invitation to attend a political event. Nobody has ever said from the Congress that we are unhappy that a Ram Mandir has been built. People in the Congress, a lot of them are Hindus, they have the faith. Of course, they are very happy that a Ram Mandir has been built. The fact is, what they declined was an invitation to a political event which has also been raised, an issue also been raised by the four Shankaracharyas. The only four Shankaracharyas in the country.
Raised it, but anyway, that is
and also the chief of the
Nirmohi Akhada.
And also the chief of the Nirmohi Akhada. So it is not just the Congress party who felt that it was a political event. It was a lot of religious leaders of the Hindu faith.
So just as a counter, you think the Ram Mandir was a political event?
No, the event was a political event. And one more thing I want to point out.
So is the Ram Mandir a political project and BJP should get
yes, and I'll point out the BJP spokesperson's words on it.
So decide, just a second.
I'll point out
if the Ram Mandir was a BJP event, then should the BJP get credit for it?
No, I have noted it. Let me just quote her from the debate half an hour ago.
If it's a political event, then the BJP should get credit.
No. I will quote Bansuri from this debate half an hour ago. Ram Mandir was nothing but a promise fulfilled by Prime Minister Modi.
Yeah.
इनकी हालत देखिए पद्मजा जी इनकी हालत
no wait
okay hold
when you say it was nothing but a manifesto promise
कांग्रेस की हालत देखिए इकबाल अंसारी इनवाइट होते हैं इकबाल अंसारी जाते हैं राम मंदिर की पांच प्रतिष्ठा में लेकिन कांग्रेस नहीं जाती है कांग्रेस से पॉलिटिकल कार्यक्रम बोलती है अखिलेश यादव पॉलिटिकल कार्यक्रम बोलते हैं लेकिन अखिलेश यादव चिट्ठी लिखते हैं कि आपने मुझे बुलाया है इसके बाद कार्यक्रम की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के बाद मैं सपरिवार जाऊंगा सोनिया गांधी ने क्या चिट्ठी लिखी कि कार्यक्रम के बाद में सपरिवार जाऊंगी राहुल गांधी जाएंगे कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष जाएंगे स्टेट में मना कर दिया कांग्रेस का एक में एजेंडा है कि किस तरीके से हम मुस्लिम वोट हमें हासिल हो जाए और इसलिए हिंदुओं की भावनाओं का अपमान करना है कांग्रेस जानती है कि उन्हें केरल में राहुल गांधी को वायनाड से चुनाव लड़वाना है वहां से फिर सांसद बनना है केरल से पिछले चुनाव में 20 में से 15 सीटें लोकसभा की आई थी उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर मुस्लिम वोट चाहिए बंगाल में चाहिए और राहुल गांधी की जो यात्रा निकल रही है आप उसका रोड देख लीजिए किन किन जिलों से जा रही है जहां मुस्लिम बाहुल एरिया है राहुल गांधी की यात्रा वहां से जा रही है
एक बात बताइए
कांग्रेस किसके वोट पर सर्वाइव करना चाहती है
एक बात बताइए सोच के बताइएगा देश के प्रधानमंत्री को मणिपुर जाना चाहिए कि नहीं जाना चाहिए मणिपुर भस्म हो जाएगा तब एक सेकंड बीच में
जवाब दे रहा हूं
अभी नहीं सवाल पूरा करने दीजिए मणिपुर भस्म हो जाएगा एक कारगिल के योद्धा की बेटी को नग्न घुमाया जाता है मुख्यमंत्री वर्तमान मुख्यमंत्री जिसपे आरोप है आतंकवादी संगठनों के साथ साठगांठ का वो कहता है कि ऐसे सैकड़ों वीडियो है टीवी पर आकर कहता है दैट इज द पॉइंट देश के प्रधानमंत्री अगर एक सेकंड देश के प्रधानमंत्री इतने वैभवशाली हैं वो राष्ट्र नीति ला रहे हैं राष्ट्र प्रतिष्ठा करें क्या मणिपुर जाना राष्ट्र प्रतिष्ठा है कि नहीं अगर कोई यात्रा मणिपुर से शुरू होती है तो क्या वो राष्ट्र का अपमान है या राष्ट्र का सम्मान है
Bansuri Swaraj, like Lady Macbeth said, all the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this hand. The thing is that you talk about Rashtra Pratishtha, Pran Pratishtha, but the stain of Manipur, can it be forgotten in election season and will the voters forgive and forget?
The Manipur issue is such a sensitive issue. It is being dealt with utmost sensitivity. It is something which is being monitored very closely by the Honorable Prime Minister himself. In fact, if you remember in July, before the Parliament session, he began by actually addressing the Manipur issue outside the Parliament. The opposition wanted a debate on Manipur. The Honorable Home Minister of the country was willing to give an answer. In fact, he attempted to do it multiple times. The opposition was not satisfied. When they went ahead and brought a no confidence motion, once again the Prime Minister addressed it. The opposition did not even have the basic courtesy to sit down and listen. They walked out. They did not, for all the questions that they raised, they only wanted political mileage out of it.
Optics,
I'll just finish. Even on 15th of August from Lal Killa, the Pradhan Mantri of this country addressed Manipur. Manipur is not an issue that we are scuttling away from. It is something that is being dealt with utmost sensitivity. It will be dealt in a manner which is going to give justice and which is going to bring peace and prosperity to Manipur, just like the rest of the parts of the country.
One very quick question.
The Economic Times today on the Republic Day says 3 MLAs beaten up by mighty group during Imphal meet. 2 of them are BJP MLAs. प्रधानमंत्री ने 15 अगस्त को बोला था, आज 26 जनवरी है। कहाँ है प्रधानमंत्री? मुझे लगता है कि बीजेपी की सबसे बेशर्मी, सबसे बड़ी बेशर्मी ये है, ये कहना कि मणिपुर में प्रधानमंत्री नजर रखे हुए हैं, लेकिन उसका कुछ असर नहीं हो रहा है।
क्या कांग्रेस में इस समस्या का समाधान हो गया था? हाई कोर्ट का जजमेंट के बाद ये मामला वहां पर
वोटबाउटरी है।
Just a second. This brings us to the messaging part. Now let us examine. We are saying on the one hand is the messaging of the BJP, where you have, like yesterday, Modi, Macron, Mandir in one frame. On the other, you have the Congress, which starts its Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra from Manipur just a few months after there have been elections in neighboring Mizoram. What happened in Mizoram? Mizoram elections happened at the peak of the violence that was happening in Manipur. There are many refugees from the Zo community who are in Mizoram, who were given refuge. The Chief Minister of Mizoram had spoken up against what is happening in Manipur. What happened? BJP won 2 seats in Mizoram. Congress was reduced to 1 seat in Mizoram. And the Chief Minister of Mizoram himself lost his seat. My question now to you, Tanveer Ejaz, is what is the problem in the messaging that a conflagration in Manipur, despite that the BJP still manages to win? And on the other hand, they have got in the mainland, as it were, the Mandir-Modi-Macron combination.
Yeah, about messaging, I think one need to understand that at the moment, since last couple of elections, what we are witnessing is a kind of a spectacle democracy. Democracy has been reduced to spectacles, right? Now, whenever there is election, right, the media, right, which is in total, let's say, full-fledgedly it has gone to the ruling party, or the ruling party has full control over media.
And yet you stand here, but please go.
Yeah, of course. Of course, I mean, my standing does not mean that the rest of the media, what is happening to rest of the media, the country knows about it. I mean, how difficult it is, to talk about the truth, right? But let me complete.
Let him finish.
Let me complete. So it's good that the ruling party is setting up the agenda and media is following it up. Ruling party is setting up the agenda. The problem with the opposition or India alliance is that they are not able to set up the agenda, right? Even if they set up the agenda, that is not very clear to because it's a spectacle democracy.
My question to you is, what is their agenda? Before setting an agenda, do they have an agenda?
They have an agenda.
What is the agenda?
The agenda, of course, they work on the development issue, that what has happened on the ground. What has happened on the ground over the last 5 years on the governance issue, they want to talk about it.
Sir, with the greatest of respect,
but
right
somewhere,
now,
for example,
एक एजेंडा है, मोदी को गाली दो.
No. For example, the unemployment rate right now is 8.5. I told you, women's labor participation is drastically going down.
So now let me come back with a few more data points.
Yes.
Okay. You come up with the idea. Just a second, sir. You come up with the agenda. Let's pick up on a few popular themes of the last few months of the alliance. One, there is barely any alliance. They said we will have a concerted common minimum program. That is gone. Individually, the parties have 2-3 larger themes. You talk about unemployment. unemployment in Rajasthan under the Gehlot government was far higher than in any other state. You're talking about crimes against women. It was far higher in Rajasthan under the Congress government than in any other state. And there were comments made by the chief minister and the minister, which, hold on a second, I will give you the data for that also. And third, you are talking about Adani, crony capitalism. If there is one word you will hear from every single speech that the Congress leader who's crisscrossing the country says, Adani, 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 Adani. And on the day that he is speaking about Adani, his Telangana chief minister is signing an MOU.
So the moment...
What is your messaging?
The
is the
point
media to be blamed if Revanth Reddy is sitting and signing MOUs?
The point is that when there is a national election, right, you have to think pan-Indian. You bring in state elections when you compare it with the national election. So that is not the way how you compare. That is the major problem with the alliance.
That is the major problem.
I take that point. Bansuri would say that they have given 48 crore mudra loans. That's right. Prime Minister says that, Nirmala Sitharaman says that. To every one of your viewers, 48 crore mudra loans means that in the nation of 25 crore people, every family has gotten 2 mudra loans. You go and scan the muhallas of the country. There's not a single muhalla that has gotten 2 mudra loans. This is a scam. But we, opposition, have not made it a voice of the people yet. That is number one. That the party said, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. Any day you take the newspaper, you will see that somebody somewhere is getting lynched by a mob that is shouting religious slogans, that is creating a religious atmosphere around a minority individual, whether it is in a train, whether it is in a house, whether it is near a mosque. And we, as India Alliance, have said that this is against the constitution, against the nation. BJP says, no, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas ka model yahi hai. And we have not taken it to the people.
So let me ask you this. Do you think it is a wiser thing? I'm giving you your due.
One final point.
Okay.
You said that demise of India Alliance. In the opening remark, you said demise of India Alliance. Since the India Alliance was formed, BJP lost AIDMK. They don't have a single notable ally in the 4 southern states. Not one notable ally. In Bihar, there are more allies in BJP than the number of panelists here, and they don't know how many allies are going to be there, what their plan is going to be. You spoke about Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram. In Meghalaya, the Prime Minister said the most corrupt Chief Minister. He is their ally. In Maharashtra, they said Ajit Pawar will be in jail. He is their ally. So clearly, BJP has found a way to take a message to people.
They have multiple Achilles' heel. My question to you is...
This is their strength. This is not Achilles' heel.
How does it show up on you? That they have no allies, they have no work done, they are majoritarian, they hate Muslims, and yet they win.
This is their strength.
How does this show up on you?
For a long time, Ravan won. But one day he was defeated. Did Ram build Sone ki Lanka? No. No one ever said Ayodhya Sone ki thi.
Okay.
Ravan ki Lanka
Going by that calculation,
one day
you've had
Ravan
10 years,
was defeated.
Bansuri Swaraj, 4 साल और ही आपको मिलेंगे और 14 साल के बाद इंडिया का वनवास खत्म होगा.
मुझे नहीं लगता कि ऐसा होने वाला है. मुझे तो लगता है इंडिया अलायंस का संहार होने वाला है, and they're going to self-destruct very soon. Just 2 things very quickly. First, I take exception to calling India a spectacle democracy, that too when we are celebrating the 75th Republic Day of the nation. We are not a spectacle democracy. We are a robust democracy. In fact, this panel is symptomatic of that. I'm sure all my fellow panelists will agree with me on this aspect. Second, regarding where is the problem with the messaging of the India Alliance, that is because ये किसी विचारधारा पे टिके हुए नहीं है, ये स्वार्थ पे टिके हुए हैं. And that is why they are not finding any commonality of agenda or issues. In fact, let me just remind you what happened yesterday. A veteran of Indian politics, the TMC leader, Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, actually accused alliance partner Congress of being discourteous. She said that Mr. Gandhi's team had not even informed them about the yatra that he's taking out from West Bengal. And she has decided that she is going to contest individually on her own in West Bengal. We are talking about hurting religious sentiments. Now I take exception. The Bharatiya Janata Party does not hate Muslims. Please do not give this kind of misinformation. You are talking about religious persecution. Are you forgetting that Mamata Banerjee's government had stopped Durga immersions, Durga idol immersions on Durga Puja in light of Muharram Tajiye, because of Muharram processions, and the High Court had to intervene.
Okay.
So please, let's not delve into the misnomers and the misinformation that the India Alliance is actually transpiring. But like I said, they are going to disintegrate because they do not have any commonality of ideology or agenda or ideas.
Okay, final word I'll give to Sameer Chaugankar. Sameer जी, आपने बोला कि राम पे भी पड़ेगा, काम पे भी पड़ेगा, बट अगर 3 ऑप्शन दिए जाएं, सबसे बड़ा एसेट इस वक्त बीजेपी का क्या है? राम, काम, मोदी या INDI?
देखिए, सबसे बड़ी ताकत भारतीय जनता पार्टी की प्रधानमंत्री मोदी, उनका चेहरा, उनका काम और उनकी गारंटी है। 2014 में प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के नाम पे वोट पड़ा।
पर अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग ऑपोजिशन होता ऑपोजिट, तो कुछ तो एंटी इनकम्बेंसी होती ना, उनको प्रॉब्लम होती।
क्या 2019 में नहीं था? उत्तर प्रदेश में मायावती और समाजवादी पार्टी ने गठबंधन नहीं किया था? कहा गया था कि मायावती और मुलायम सिंह यादव मिलकर चुनाव लड़ेंगे तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी आधी सीटों पे आ जाएगी। 2019 के अंदर क्या हुआ सबको पता है। पूरा विपक्ष का अगर आप वोट बैंक देख लेंगे, उत्तर प्रदेश की मैं बात कर रहा हूं तो 45% वोट मिला था।
Okay.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी अकेलों को 49.95% वोट उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर मिला हुआ था। देश की जनता जानती है कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी का काम किस तरीके से देश के अंदर सर चढ़ के बोल रहा है, और ये परिवारवाद की पार्टियां, भ्रष्टाचार की पार्टियां और मुस्लिम तुष्टिकरण की जो पार्टियां जो प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने बार बार जिक्र किया है, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी का सामना नहीं कर सकते। और ये पूरा विपक्ष इकट्ठा होकर भी प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के आंधी को 2024 में रोक नहीं सकता, ये विपक्ष जानता है। इसके पहले भी एक चुनाव लड़ चुके हैं। राहुल गांधी और अखिलेश यादव मिलकर चुनाव लड़ चुके हैं, मायावती और अखिलेश यादव मिलकर चुनाव लड़ चुके हैं, बंगाल में भी चुनाव मिलकर लड़ चुके हैं कांग्रेस और लेफ्ट। क्या भारतीय जनता पार्टी को रोक सके? ये 18 सीटें भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने बंगाल के अंदर जीती थी। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने जिस हिसाब से 9 साल परफॉर्म किया है, देश की जनता इस बात को जानती है। और अब देश वो 10 साल देखने को तैयार नहीं है जब गठबंधन की राजनीति होती थी और परिवारवादी पार्टियां मिलकर देश चलाती थी और लूट तंत्र चलता था। देश ने 2004 से 2014 का कार्यकाल भी देखा है और देश की जनता ने 2014 से 2023 का कार्यकाल देखा है। और ये 10 साल का कार्यकाल प्रधानमंत्री मोदी को तीसरी बार देश का प्रधानमंत्री बनाने की तैयारी कर रहा है।
Okay, so maybe finally in January, by the end of January, the opposition parties have realized that their strength does lie or could lie in fighting alone. Maybe that is a better formula. They get their messaging together. In the meantime, at least the BJP is absolutely clear on the planks that are going to help them get that target that they have set for themselves. It's quite clear. It's Modi, it's beneficiary, and whether they acknowledge it or not, it is the Mandir. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, Bansuri Swaraj, for joining me on the national debate.